Maryland counties are lobbying to change school funding formulas, that is, to make up for a decline in students. Sue Copen looks at how the pandemic is continuing to take a toll on education.
Classrooms may be back open, but that doesn't mean all the students are back.
There are the kids who miss under quarantine because they are required to miss for quarantine. And then there's also families who keep their kids home, but then don't get a PCR testing. So maybe they're sick or maybe they're just fearful. Certainly, I think quarantine is driving huge increases in chronic absence.
And there are other reasons as well.
High school kids, for instance, many of them in low-income communities went to work during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, that is, and went to work to help their families. And some of them, many of them never stopped. Some of them continued to work and then take care of the house and younger siblings. So their families could work.
The State Board of Education learned this week that overall attendance for grades 1 through 12 went from 93.5% in 2020 to 92.5% in 2021. Male, Hispanic, African American, and economically disadvantaged students were impacted the most.
I worry that especially the kids who were chronically absent last year, then they're chronically absent this year. They are at a different level, and the engagement that we're going to have to support them with will need to look different. And it's going to, and for many of these kids, we're talking now longer term strategies.
Enrollment statewide was also down for nearly all grades for the 2020-2021 school year compared with the previous pre-pandemic year. Only pre-K, kindergarten, and ninth grades had increases in enrollment. Those public school students often left for private schools, but the Maryland Department of Education says homeschooling is now the apparent alternative of choice. Towson University professor Jessica Schiller says there are financial consequences that come with drops in enrollment and attendance.
When students are absent and have a chronic absence, which is about 15 days of absence over the school year or more, that affects the amount of money that a school system gets from the state, which is the most significant portion of funding that schools get.
Schiller says the school system needs to pivot and get creative to address the problems made worse by the pandemic.
We could extend the school year. We could do summer programs, bridge programs, other kinds of things that would support young people so that we don't pile everything into those 180 days that students are required to be in classrooms. There's no easy fix. It will take time, but we have the power to make those shifts and changes.
I'm Sue Copen for State Circle.